guys, I'm officially on hiatus, so I don't have the time to film and edit together a 20-minute Real Unova segment, so I'm going to call this a Real Unova slider, because it's sort of little like a slider. There's sort of a few interesting things about the Tubeline Bridge. The first element is, well, the bridge itself visually is based not on any bridge in New York, but it's the bridge is based on the Forth Bridge in Scotland, which is a railway bridge that was, one of the first major steel structures in the UK, if not the world. Pretty impressive feat of engineering, and it's a landmark, to this day. And of course, when you're crossing the bridge in the game, you see the trains running beneath it. And where the bridge is, I didn't check exactly. I think where it connects to, I think that would roughly correspond to the George Washington Bridge, which is blue like the Tubeline Bridge, but it's obviously a very different sort of structure. The interesting thing about the George Washington Bridge is actually that bridge is unfinished. This sort of boxy towers on there, that is actually sort of the skeleton, and the designer's original plan was to encase that in stone and have these stone towers so that the bridge would resemble the Brooklyn Bridge. But right as they started, building the bridge, the Great Depression hits. The brickwork was just going to be for show anyway, so they canceled they just left it in its sort of unfinished state, and that's sort of the iconic look of the George Washington Bridge today. But so we have this bridge between the equivalent of what would be like New Jersey and sort of near Harlem and Manhattan. But there is a bridge in New York with a steel the steel deck on the Tubeline Bridge where you can see the trains beneath it. And when you're crossing the bridge, the way you can see the way it looks when you're crossing the bridge and the steel deck of the bridge, there is a bridge in New York City that looks exactly like that. It doesn't have trains running beneath it, but it has the steel deck and it's blue and it looks the same while you're crossing it. But it's not where the equivalent of the Tubeline Bridge would be. It is actually on the stark opposite end from where that would be in the south of New York City, and it's actually off the map of Unova. And so if I'm going to show it to you, I'm going to have to actually add it to the map. It would be sort of in the fan-created area I call East Unova. And where this bridge actually connects to, this bridge carries the road right past Floyd Bennett Field, which is the airport where that happened. It's no longer used as a commercial airport, but it's the airport that has the gardens in it, the vegetable gardens that sort of are analogous to Mistaltron City. And the airport's location, if you look on this map, it's the sort of where you see the triangular area right over where the bridge is. The little tiny bridge, if you can see that there, that airport is actually in just the right location to be analogous to the airport in the first episode of Pokemon Black and White, where Ash first shows up. And if you look in the south of this photo, that is actually Coney Island, which would be like the real-life equivalent of November Town. The bridge I'm talking about, that connects Brooklyn and Queens there, is actually a bridge my parents used to drive me across there all the time when I was little, and because of the steel deck, when you drove across it, it would make this humming noise, and I used to call it the blue bridge that makes funny noise. So if you followed all that, you have a little bit more context for the Tubeline Bridge in Unova, and thank you very much for watching.